Greetings everyone, I'm Maya, and this is another video in my pregnancy series, specifically about the third trimester. Here we're going to talk about the pros and cons of it, what you can expect, what are the symptoms, and how you can make this time the best and precious for you. I've been spending the whole third trimester overloading myself with information. Obviously, there are many books, and not all of them are supportive and relatable. So here are the three that I loved. Number one is New York Times bestseller Bringing Up a Baby by Pamela Druckerman. This is a book where an author is a journalist and she compares the approach to parenting in French and American cultures. I really loved this book because it covers not only the topics of pregnancy and preparation for becoming pregnant, a lot of it is about parenting and postpartum and self-care. And I loved this book because it's one of a few that didn't make me feel like I was a part of a clan or a group that supports this or that pregnancy idea. It was just a very chill read. You see, I have a hard time breathing having such a big belly. I love that this book allowed me to just relate to it and provided me with lots of realistic, real life women and human experiences with being pregnant and made me feel seen in terms of my pregnancy approach. Another one that my husband bought me at Goodwill for $1 was this gorgeous book, Nurture by Erica Chidi, who is a birth and postpartum doula. I love that this book covers the practical and technical and mechanical way the things work without making it gross and without overstimulating you or scaring you. And at the same time, it has additionally recipes, meditation practices, breathing techniques, even some lines where you could write something of your own, like your ideas, your plans, your expectations, and all of that. So this is a great recommendation from me to you. And the third book that was given to me by my beautiful friends is a book, Transformed by Birth by Britta Bushman. I suppose that's her surname. I'll put a picture right here. That book is mostly about the mentality and emotional preparation for becoming a parent and about the transformation of the psyche, of the personal approach to your own self during the process of birth and postpartum. And I would for sure recommend reading this book at the end of your pregnancy when you've consumed all of the necessary medical and technical information in terms of how to prepare. So that one is a big must read for whoever wants their pregnancy and especially third trimester to go in a chill and relaxed and a calm way. A fun fact, if you see me bouncing like that, is because I'm literally on a yoga ball. I did not know that this is such a thing that definitely drastically changes the pelvic pressure that you're experiencing when the baby grows, and it's absolutely necessary for me. And I really hope that one of these balls would be available at the hospital that I'm planning to give birth at, because one of the not fun symptoms of third trimester is amount of pressure that is being put on your lower abdominal area and the pelvic floor and everything by your uterus. Sometimes sitting up straight on a hard chair is painful, at least for me. So I often sit either on one or on another hip. So this is the kind of thing that helps me to literally stretch around and feel a bit better in that area. Back to the topic of third trimester and the things that I personally am experiencing during this time. I've been very grateful and attentive to my body in terms of thanking it for the way that it's working and fortunately growing my child without any complications at this moment. And I've noticed that during my third trimester, I started taking baths. It became a big relaxing technique for me. I've always been a person with low blood pressure, and taking a bath has never been a pleasurable experience for me. But during my pregnancy, I noticed that it helps me to not only take the pressure off all of the bones and structures we recently discussed, but additionally, it really helps you to relax and get in the zone. I noticed that swimming in the pool during my second trimester and taking a bath during my third has been a life-changing thing for me mentally, and I always do that when I have a day when I'm feeling down. So if you haven't tried doing that, try it. because the way that your body used to work during its regular non-pregnant time may be completely different from the way that it works now being pregnant. And moreover, on the topic of the changes for the better, that's how I would call it, is I've always been a person who is prone to swelling, and I've always been the person who never drinks but wakes up with puffy face, with puffy eyelids. For some reason it kind of went by me, and during my whole pregnant time I've never been swollen once. The way that I'm building this video right now is to kind of remind you that there are many things to be grateful for. There are many good things to notice, and that's what I want to concentrate on, and that's what I want you to concentrate on as the time approaches. And the weirdest feeling that I'm getting now is that I think I'm gonna miss being pregnant. I think I'm gonna miss having a belly and feeling the baby kicks. I think I'm gonna miss this precious time of waiting for something so transformative, big, and important. So I'm kind of trying to soak it all in while I still have the time, and realistically I have less than a month until my due date. So here I am capturing myself on a birthing ball in this video. Additionally, on the topic of physical changes, I would say that I haven't got any stretch marks on my belly. And as you probably already know, no fancy creams or oils are influencing this change anyhow. Mostly stretch marks and the appearance or not appearance of it is based on your genetics. And I've asked my mom, I've asked my grandma from my father's side, and was told that they did not have any stretch marks on their bellies during their pregnancies, and I fortunately do not have it too. I would say that my anxiety with moisturizing the skin all the time kind of faded away as well. And to be completely honest, I moisturize my belly and like overall my body like once, maybe twice a week. I do not do this every single day, and I do not feel the need or the tightness in my skin to additionally moisturize it. So when I remember about it, I do it, but it's not on my regular routine list, and I'm fine with that. This is a weird thing we're gonna talk about right now, but I would like to talk about dreams. Change in dreams and more vivid dreaming is usually a very common thing during pregnancy, and I would really like you to comment on that if you have experienced that as well. But for me, my whole pregnancy has been a completely different realm in terms of the dreams that I'm seeing, and I do dream almost every single night, and I started to remember the weird and not so weird dreams that I was having. I'm sure that I'm not the only person who's experiencing that, but it's definitely been different from the time of my non-pregnant period. On the topics of Braxton Hicks contractions, at the moment when I was writing a script for this video, I mentioned that, I experience a pain from Braxton Hicks contractions on the scale of 3 out of 10. This is something that I'm having, and sometimes it appears during the physical activity that I'm having. For example, if I'm on a long walk with my dogs, I might start having Braxton Hicks. I'm kind of happy that I'm experiencing it because it means that my body is preparing for labor. And I'm glad that I get this test drive of how it would feel, but it's kind of scary because for this whole time of preparing for birth, I was the kind of person to be like, I'll find my ways to dissociate. I know the techniques, I know the breathing, I know all of that. But when in the moment you're experiencing a contraction, it's not cute, not nice, and definitely kind of lowers your expectations of your pain tolerance levels. On the topic of contractions, and the last very cool thing that I like to mention to you is testing yourself in terms of pain tolerance and skills of disassociating from the pain. I don't know if you've heard about this technique, but it's literally based around taking like 4 to 5 cubes of ice in your hand, in your palm, and setting a timer for a minute and trying to find any ways that work for you to disassociate from this physical discomfort, and learning the skill of doing that before the actual labor starts, because this is a kind of a comparison to how a contraction would feel. Contraction is not something that starts from a minute and ends in a minute and doesn't have any like build-up effect or going away effect. And I've noticed that with ice it's exactly the same. When the minute goes away, you put away your ice, your palm still feels the coldness, still has that physical tingling discomfort, and it's kind of a good way to mentally prepare. I did this with my husband. He was the one holding the ice as well as he was having a contraction too. And I saw that he was a lot better at pain management. It's a great way to see the way that you are both coping and how you can actually help. If I liked closing my eyes and like focusing on just being in my head instead of being in my hand. And my husband started to talking a lot, like not shutting his mouth for a second. And I found that the way of him like constantly talking and me hearing that he's there has been a very, very good way for me to feel supported and not alone in the process of this pain. So we'll see, obviously, how the birthing process goes, how we both will react, considering that there will be additional like emotional stress added. It's not holding an ice, it's birthing a literal human. But for now, it was a great practice that I suggest you do. If there is any ways to prepare and at least somehow get ready for this whole process, it's a great thing to try it. Thank you for watching. I hope you managed to find lots of tiny bits of useful information for you personally, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!